We're now live.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our special council meeting of June 15th for the 2023 budget. First of all, I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Métis. Could I have approval of the agenda? Everybody's good with the agenda? No?
Yeah.
Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none, we'll get right into unfinished business, and that's the 2023 preliminary budget. And you want to do the overview, Nathan? Or?
Well, Marlene, you can go ahead and start.
Sure. So after the June 13th meeting, staff got together and we went through what changes council had made in the capital budget. So these included the steps, the approval of the library steps and the dam spillway. The shared drive costs have been adjusted to be an annual expense, so it's moved completely out of the capital and into operating with a reduced amount from the 14 to the 4. The steamer pressure washer, there was some updates after the meeting that wasn't a priority item. The trackless was also removed. That didn't have any impact on your levy increase as it was being budgeted from reserve. The greater rear differential had been already previously approved by resolution 19223, so I indicated that on the spreadsheet by saying that it was approved because that hadn't been on there on the 13th. The asbestos dry brushing was removed. The roof repair at the public works garage was removed and downgraded from a priority of red to yellow. The white sand beach washroom repairs have been removed from the budget as these repairs will be completed by staff. And that's it. So like I said, the $4,000 for the shared drive has been moved into the administration tab under computers. So that those updated changes bring the budget in at a 3.15% levy increase, which on $100,000 of residential assessment, that would be an increase of approximately $150 for the year.
The white sand dock, did we agree that we were putting that in there? I don't recall.
Talked about it after the delegation.
Or is that something that we were looking at to do a different way? Is that still in there?
I believe it was still in there.
Yeah, it's still in there.
Where?
It's under recreation in the capital expenses.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so how do you want to proceed?
Well, that's the only one I seen that we didn't agree on, so. Is there a different way of going about that besides taxation, or?
Do you want to start with capital? Is that what you want to do? Start with the
Yeah.
capital?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
I
the
think
question.
it's a good idea
Do you want
since
to keep with
revisit
capital?
it. Yeah, we'll revisit capital, and once we're okay with what's included
Yeah.
and not, then we'll go right into the operating, if that
Okay,
makes
yeah,
sense.
that's what I thought.
We're not we're not gonna finalize capital or anything, we're just gonna go
It,
through
it will only be
Oh, yeah,
finalized
yeah,
when
altogether.
we're ready to pass it
Yeah.
during the council
Okay.
portion of
Yeah.
the meeting as a bylaw, so.
So all of the orange adds up to the taxation drawdown required, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
There may be, like, the dam spillway doesn't show up as orange on there because the majority of it is coming through reserve. So
Right.
that amount was the $6,375, that was taxation.
Okay, so the strategic plan, we have at 88, but we've applied for a grant for that.
Yeah.
So can we adjust that amount from 88 down to where it should be?
Well, that's the estimated cost of the project, and then there's the revenue at the top. So the amount coming from taxation is just is assuming that you get the 10%, the 90-10. So the 10% portion is $8,800. So
8,800 or
so-
88,000?
So you have to budget, in expenses, you budget total project cost,
Mhm.
and you budget your estimated revenue source. So the estimated revenue source with the FedNor grant is the 79 up the top.
Okay. But the taxation drawdown required, you just said included all the orange, so it includes
Yes.
the 88?
It includes $8,800, yes.
8,800, it's got 88 on here, that's my question.
Oh, yeah, it's only the 8,800, it's only our portion.
So it's just 8,800 on the
Yes.
strategic plan
And
line.
under yes,
Yeah, because the drawdown is subtracting from all the revenues in the first page.
in that email that I sent, I think it was
Mhm.
Tuesday, the taxation drawdown is only the $8,800.
Okay. So these orange things don't add up to 239 then? You have to take these less
The
an amount from
revenues.
here?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's kind of tricky like that because
Yeah.
even if there's a little portion, right, that's being funded through taxation, as in the case with that, we've highlighted it in
Yeah.
orange.
And the SCBA upgrades and cylinders for the fire department, that's pre-approved. They've
That's-
already approved that, right?
that is correct.
And the turnout gear, if it's orange, we've approved it.
You
No.
have not passed a resolution for it, but I would
And the-
suggest that that is an annual, health and safety issue, like, for the fire department, it is considered,
And these were high priority items that Janet highlighted for us at
Well,
our request, right? All these fire,
But they're not, it's not red. How can we tell? Fire department, 1 second.
Before.
the fire department operating and capital was done, I think, in February.
I think it
January,
was, yeah.
February.
Sewer, public works. I left the sheets at home, shoot. The library and the fire department, water and sewer, they're all done.
Well, you hadn't technically approved the library one either.
Okay.
Okay. Water and sewer definitely are finished.
Yeah.
Operating. And your aqua capital list and some of your projects have been approved already.
And the equipment for 21.9, remind me what was that for?
There was a list of, I'll see if I can find the,
I should have brought my fire department and my library shop with me. Shoot.
he had refined it as well.
not in here.
No.
was a various amount of things, so the CBA stuff come in at the, just under 12.3.
Right.
On that. And then, there were nozzles, sorry, a portable tank, some hoses, cylinders, a cylinder rack, yeah. Hazmat stuff, equipment, boots and tools.
And the turnout gear is not on the operating fire department.
Turnout gear is not on operating fire department. Turnout
Okay.
gear is, that's actually the number one on that capital list that was, done.
So that's
this
not
year.
on operating already. Okay.
That's stuff that goes out of date, so it has to be
Yeah,
replaced.
oh no, I have no question, I'm just thinking in my head that Marlene's probably right, it should be put under operating instead of as a capital request, that should be a standard amount almost every year. Cause I'm imagining he's gotta roll that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah? Okay, anyways, great, transfer. I'm gonna take this off again now. Reservoir inspection. That was a transfer. So on the water side, everything is covered by transfers or grants except for
The roof.
the
You
roof.
have, well, you have a portion of your SCADA.
Yeah, we had 10 from reserve, so that left the 20, right? The major empty Santra site, that was all covered, that was all by transfer. The dam inspection and the spillway, that's red, so we haven't decided that. And then the building roof, the water treatment plant building roof. Those are the last two things we've got to look at on that, right?
You approved the spillway on Tuesday.
Okay.
So out of you had your strategic plan of taxation on that capital list, you had your strategic plan at $8,800 was coming from taxation. The fire department in total for those three things, right?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, yep. That was, sorry, I'm just going back and forth from the email to the spreadsheet, so
I
please bear
know.
with me. So fire department was 46,885. The water treatment plant SCADA upgrades, 20,000 is coming from taxation. The rest of that was coming from a transfer because
Sure.
it was funded
Right.
last year. That project has been approved. The dam phase 2 spillway was $6,375 from taxation. The water treatment plant roof repairs is 32,000. The wastewater treatment plant VFDs, that was already approved, that's $18,615.
Yeah. The ESA building upgrades,
That's OCIF funding,
okay, so none of that's taxation.
correct.
That VFD, did we talk about some type of reserves for that, or is that possible?
Which one's that for?
The variable frequency drive, the VFD?
Yeah. I feel like here it is. Well, I actually have water.
Well, we did, but
But that's not water, that is wastewater, that's sewer. Hang on here, Ben.
oh, we already did that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were gonna have conversation about the roof, if we could
See.
get that from somewhere.
Yeah, no, we don't have a planned reserve transfer in waste and sewer. If that's what you're asking, we haven't.
Do you mean in operating?
Yeah,
Operating, there was budgeted a transfer to reserve for each one of them.
No, I mean, I'm looking for a reserve transfer just out of water, just to put into, or wait, out of sewer, just to put into reserve. An amount just to put into reserve.
Yeah, so that was for 2023, that was $11,000 was budgeted and operated to go into reserve for sewer, and then water was
Okay,
25,000.
okay, sorry, Marlene, you're right at the very, very bottom, right?
Yeah.
Transfer to reserve.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben Shell, yeah, so. 18,615 was that VFD, and if we're moving 11, we're gonna probably have that much of it covered next year if that's all we use that money for. That was transfer. That's been changed, that's been changed. The greater rear diff we've already approved, right?
Correct.
And then the track list has been taken off?
Yeah.
There's an amount in the red.
Yeah, it's in the deleted column.
Yeah, so it's not in that tax
It's zero,
drawdown
shows
column.
zero.
Okay,
And then you'll see that the corresponding revenue at the top has been removed as well.
okay. The, under buildings, the 3 roofs, is that the one those 2 that we've got amounts in, is that the one we put the grant in for?
The grant's only for the arena, so the $16,000 for the municipal complex will have to be through taxation.
And the public works garage. was
Okay, so there we go.
removed.
So, provincial grant, so
So
that's
yeah.
in the blue here, provincial grant and borrowing or transferring from reserve?
There is no funding for the arena roof in here, because at the time we hadn't applied. And the conversations are that the roof has to be done
Yeah.
regardless of whether you get the grant or you don't. Like, we're trying to hold off until that you would find out whether or not, kind of hopeful that OTF would have an answer by September. And then
Right.
the repairs, but at this point in time, there isn't any funding that's associated with that 63,000, because it's a project that is
Okay,
identified that it must.
so there is no funding in revenue,
That's correct.
but it's possible that in 2023 we could get funding in
That is
revenue.
correct, yeah.
Exactly, then you'd get a bit of a surplus if you're fortunate with that.
Okay, so let me store these 2 things. And these 2 amounts are included in the taxation drawdown, but it's possible we won't need them.
Which two?
The roof repair, municipal complex roof repair arena.
Only the arena.
Only the arena's
Because
included?
that was the only one that was included in the application because this building didn't qualify.
So that's included in the taxation drawdown, but the municipal roof is not. This is
At
really
this
hard
point
to
in,
read.
so from a budget perspective, both projects, both roofs are included fully to be funded at these values
Okay,
through taxation.
okay,
Only one project was applied for
and that was the
funding.
arena.
And yes, and that was the arena, and we do not know whether or not we will get that funding.
Then we removed the public works garage.
Correct.
Okay.
And we okayed the library front steps.
And
Yep.
yeah.
And the dock at White Sand is still on, still in there?
Still in there, but we never agreed on it, I don't think. whether we're-
No, we never agreed on it, but it's still in
It's
there.
still showing in there, yeah.
And tree removal at cemetery and the tool shed are still in there.
The
Yeah,
tools-
we agreed on those items, that they should be in there.
Well, if we're making a vault, we're gonna need a tool shed.
Well, yeah, we agreed on that.
Yeah.
And we agreed on the trees too?
On the trees too,
Okay.
yeah, because they're a hazard. I mean, the
Okay.
expense of not taking them down and falling down, or we talked about the headstones, what they're worth.
Yeah.
But the dock, I mean, is there, do we wanna go ahead with that, or is there a different way of approaching it?
I think, I'm gonna go back to the roof at the water treatment plant, if we can get rid of that, if we can, I'm not saying we can't do it, but if we can find funding.
It's more difficult to find funding for your core infrastructure. Unfortunately, because it's considered as part of your water infrastructure, it won't qualify for a lot of grants.
But if, for some reason, we were to be successful on this $63,000 for the roof repair for the arena, we could actually repair the arena roof and probably have more than enough money left over to then repair the water treatment plant building, should that grant come through.
Potentially, right, it would be
So we
a
could-
surplus of funds that,
Right, so we could leave off the water treatment plant in the hope that we get the grant, and then apply the surplus funds to that.
in theory, that could be something to look at. I don't know when, though, you would need to fix that, though, Tammy.
The water treatment plant is inside work.
So you could do that at,
I believe so.
okay. So potentially,
We could do that.
Say that again.
Okay, so we're on here, if you take a look at buildings,
Yeah.
there's the roof repair for the arena, 63,000. We've actually applied for a grant for that, and Marlene makes the point, and she's right, we haven't been approved, so we don't know if we're gonna get that grant or not.
Right.
But should we get that grant, the bulk of that 63 would be covered, and we would have a surplus, because that 63 is included in that bottom taxation, right? We'd
Yeah.
have, let's say, I don't know, $50,000 surplus, because
Yeah.
we got part of it covered by grant. I'm
Right.
saying at that point, when if we were successful with the grant, could we not then say, well, we'll take the water treatment plant off for now, but earmark that money should that grant become successful and put it back on later?
Yeah, so what if we don't get the grant? That's the other side of it.
If we don't get the grant, well then,
Then how important is that roof repair at the water treatment plant?
Well, you've seen it, it's sagging.
right, you showed us.
So if we don't get the grant, then
Then
and
we'll
we
have to
take that
put,
off, then-
and if you took it off, you'd have to put it back on for 2024. Then it's gonna be, a red critical item.
is that too late?
I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you when or if it will cave
Yeah.
in. It is a hazard as it
Yeah,
is.
so that's the concern, is how.
When the catastrophic failure happens, I don't know.
because the roof repair at the municipal complex is also critical.
We had water just coming in last week.
Yeah,
It wasn't raining, so I don't
No.
know where it was coming from.
no, absolutely.
Did we find out with that one, where that water was?
From the air handling unit, so it was probably condensation from the air
In
conditioning.
this case, okay. But when we get a heavy rainfall, we'll be able to
Yeah.
spot some more leaks.
So, yeah, you're gonna get, yeah, so I guess my personal idea is that municipal complex roof. And she's got it shaded as red, so it is critical, I get it, but I don't know that 2023, if we can afford 2023 to be the year of the roof without some financial help.
We'll also have to look at the levy increase and what you're comfortable with. You have to keep in mind next year, because if you have a lot of
Yeah.
projects coming next year, if you cut this too slim, and you're stacking it onto next year,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
very heavy increase.
Yeah.
Well, you wanna go through the operating then?
Well, then, the other thing we raised when he was the dock at White Sand. If we're doing repairs to the bathroom and we've graded the road, is that enough for 2023 and we can maybe do the dock next year?
Or look for a grant for next year.
Or look for a grant for next year?
Yeah, it's recreations, we should be able to buy something that qualifies.
Potentially, we'll have to take a look to make sure that it fits within the criteria, and it's a bit tricky in this case because we don't technically
own it.
own
Yeah.
that land.
Mhm.
So in some cases, we do need to have ownership of the land, but we can see, especially for something with, for $5,000, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be a major ask.
Would it be easier for a user group to apply for a grant for that? Like,
Probably.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, we can encourage our user groups, like, I mean, how often, I guess it doesn't matter. How often that area is used, it's probably used enough, but. I think I agree with you, Anne Marie, that, what we're doing there this year should be enough at White Sand.
Need an opinion then from either one of you to see if it stays or.
I struggle with it. I obviously haven't been there enough. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was there lots and seen all these kids using it, I would be like, well, let's do it. But I agree with you guys. I think if the user group can put in for a grant and get it funded that way, then
Okay.
So the dock is out, but the water treatment plant is in still, the roof? Do I have that right?
So far.
Okay.
I like that your idea. It's too bad that we don't know this stuff earlier before we gotta make these types of decisions, because you could, you're gonna get that grant, you could cut 2 of these roofs out and you budget the 63 and you could do the other 2. Right?
Yeah. Where's this piece of paper? Okay.
The 53,000 for the truck, that was, where does that come from? The
That's
low
from the
priority
reserve.
for you?
It's not from taxation, so.
No? Okay.
infrastructure reserve.
And I'm still going to say, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that.
Yeah,
We're-
we're-
I don't care where you're getting money from,
Research.
it's ridiculous.
We're
We need
looking
to
at,
either buy a used or look into leasing vehicles.
but that's what we're currently looking at to research to bring to the table, either something secondhand or
Yeah.
potential lease.
I think we could get more trucks secondhand for half the price than what you could with this.
Or you will.
Well, because Tammy said, this was plain, I mean, at 53, it's gotta be plain.
Mhm.
It's plain.
I've done some preliminary research, I haven't completed my research, but,
No.
I mean, there's a used, that's priced at 29,000 right now,
Mm-hmm.
2018.
Right? Okay, that's capital then. All right,
You wanna know what you're down to then?
no, there's only one number.
It did make a difference. You're down to 2.92 now.
Yeah, below the 3% threshold, that's.
When you get to -2, tell me, we'll stop. How about that?
What is it, Marlene?
2.92.
Okay.
But what I would, with the minus percentages, you need to remember that some of the funding requirements are that you show that you are continuing to maintain a certain level of investment. So if you do wanna remember that.
Okay, admin.
What were we at last year? Do you remember offhand?
Last year, we passed, I think last year I gave you something like
5.9.
8.73, and I think it was 4.97 is what we ended up with.
4.95%.
Yeah, 4.9.
Okay.
Which document do you want to start with then?
Do you wanna go through operating?
We can.
Okay. Administration is first.
Am I looking for it?
Administration, huh?
Oh, six pages in.
6 pages in?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 6 pages in.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready? Are you
Yeah, go-
ready?
Yeah, go ahead. If you got anything on it.
She's got to do there. Legal fees. Well, I see where we budgeted, and I know that we were way over budget for very specific reasons in 2022. So, but here's my question. We have budgeted an amount under legal fees. Do you know where we are year to date?
Yep. I thought the last time I checked, we were somewhere around the 27,000, but I will let you know where we are right
I
now.
think that's the only one I have last year. Oh, I don't have 23, that's right, I've only got 22. Yeah. Do you know where we are?
Internet's a bit slow.
That's okay.
more than a bit.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, $28,030.83 right now.
What was that again, Marlene, please?
28?
Yeah,
28,000?
Yeah, I'd leave it.
Okay. Consulting fees were there, right, Mark? Consulting fees were here?
that's E4M, yeah.
Okay, so that number is a solid number. Gotcha.
There was a bit of a range, but that's using the high range, like you paid one invoice so far, so with that one, there's probably about another 9,000.
So that's actually sitting at
10,000.
about 21 then.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Christmas party. We budgeted 85, we spent 10.8. So I see we look at 10, and you're just kind of taking a number in between these two, yeah?
Yeah, so I took if you go up to the revenues, I used the revenues, as per, like, close to what 2022 was, and then the expense portion was close to what your actual was in 2022. It was a fairly I'd say it was an average
Okay.
turnout. So the cost, between those two numbers is at $5,800,
Okay.
your net cost.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's all good. That's all good. Travel, that's all good. The remuneration is spot on. Postage. Do you want me to give you GL numbers? I'm probably screwing around with you now.
No postage?
We just approved that Pitney Bowes, right?
Yes. But that is, that's your postage machine lease in there, as well as your approximate postage. We are back into, kind of back into more normal, so that 8,300 where we ended up, right?
Right.
That includes postage pretty much across the board, so that would include anything, any of your festival stuff that you're sending out. And
Okay. Now, the computer expense is gone up significantly, and that is due to the shared drive,
yeah, $4,000 of that is the estimate for the shared drive.
and that's at the monthly cloud purchase?
It's gonna be a monthly rental with security. So part of going to any shared drive system or, well, whether it's internally,
Yep.
is you have to put in a sort of security barrier just again for access.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
if we're going fully in the cloud where anyone can access anything digitally, we have to make sure that even if we're doing a room completely out of the office or somewhere else, so you have to pay for the security features
Right.
on that.
On that.
So that does add up, what you say, a bit of cost, and it did open up some, what you say, concerns if we ever did do an internal shared drive system. If we were paying 13,000 as a one-time cost is one thing, but then you'd still have to pay into some IT service for that.
A monthly subscription.
It's a sort of VPN
Gotcha.
service or whatever that makes sure that there is some sort of security. Otherwise, any party can access our server through any of our computers, right? And
Okay. So the computer expense, though, isn't up 4,000, it's up more like 6,700.
Yeah, you had increases to your annual hosting, your tangible capital assets, you have iCloud in there.
Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff
There's a
rolled in there.
whole bunch of stuff that goes in
Okay.
there, yeah.
The rest is
And this
stuff.
year, the difference was we had the aerial photos done. That isn't something that's done annually.
No.
So that's included in that as well.
That's pretty good.
So, I don't know, does anybody else have any other questions about his name? I'd be saying, can we drop legal fees by 5,000?
We don't know yet.
We don't, well, you don't know, but I'll tell you what, you spent 30, not 50. You think we're gonna spend another 20? I can think of the steps we got left to do, I don't think you're gonna spend 20.
There are, beyond just that main one, there is another, what you say?
Coming along?
There, well,
20 is not much for the rest of the year,
yeah,
really.
we had that one, what you say, third-party liability,
Yeah.
if that one rings a bell, where is it just examinations for discovery that's happening?
Discovery in September, yes.
So far, I mean, the good news is it should be, in theory, covered by insurance,
Right?
so hopefully that doesn't draw in, what you say, any more liability. But ultimately, you know, it's one of those things where unless you have a crystal ball, you won't get, you know,
Yeah, I'm just looking at a
Necessarily
difference
perfect.
from a 2022 budget to a 2023 budget of $20,000. I'm not asking you to cut to 20.
I think you could, but, you know.
I'm asking you to cut a little.
Yeah. I think you could in theory.
Okay,
It's,
let's, we'll put a star beside it and we'll
Okay.
come back if
And the
we
last
have
thing
to.
I have is under admin, PT. I know what that stands for, and I guess, when's the ad going out? You didn't do anything in 2022, do you plan on doing something in 2023?
Yes. Yeah,
So the ad is?
the ad is not out yet, no.
Okay. And you expect to have this done by the end of the year?
I would like to have the ad out, yeah, probably by September. So that's not just like that isn't, that's training and coverage as well, right?
Right. If you have the ad out in September, so you're looking at October, November, 3 months' wages, right? 3 months ad.
I think that I can
In
tell you what that
September.
actually is.
No, that's okay, just we budgeted it and didn't spend it last year, so I just thought maybe you're not gonna spend it this year.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then we can take it off. But if you're saying that, no, we're gonna ad going out in September, and I'm gonna have 3 months worth of wages, then I'd say leave it on. Okay. Anybody else? For administration, no?
Good.
What's the next one, municipal buildings?
Municipal buildings.
Can we just go back?
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely.
The insurance deductibles, is that a known cost already, because, or do we budgeted 10 grand?
You budgeted 10 grand, we didn't spend any money last year, that's a good point, Ben.
Did our deductibles go up this year?
It's still at 10 grand. There are different deductibles
Yeah.
for various areas. I think 10 grand is the most. Keep in mind though, if you have multiple claims, you could easily go,
That could get eat up pretty quick.
this is meant to cover one claim.
Yeah,
It used to be at 5 grand, but we had to increase it to 10 in order to reduce the insurance costs. And now, what you say, some municipalities are trying to determine, you know, how much, depending on the scenario, what it is, you know, as long as there isn't any personal injury or whatever involved, you know, save some money to take care of those incidents if it's just a straightforward damage.
yeah.
So this is a single line expense, we're not gonna see an insurance deductible on every single category.
Yeah, this is for one incident.
Okay.
If there's just one incident, you know,
Okay.
wherever it may be, cover that much. Now, this did not cover the handy transit yet, but it will have, some of this will be consumed for the, with that handy transit cost.
Okay.
I don't believe we were invoiced for that yet, right?
Not yet.
Anywhere else, Ben? Okay, Mayor?
under the medical center, how's that even possible to run the furnace and air conditioning at the same time?
We're onto buildings, I think, yeah. The medical center?
Yeah, like, when I read that in the report, it
Yeah.
just baffles my
Isn't it
mind.
2 buttons? 2 different, I don't know, different setup, I guess.
No, but I mean,
It was one of the doctors that reported it, and we sent the guys over, and that's what they determined. Both units were on.
no, I'm not doubting
Yeah.
it, but I'm saying the
That's just-
person
that's
that's
just-
running it, you got hot air blowing on you, cold air blowing on you.
That just seems like a poor design to enable both to be on at the same time.
Like. So do we have that fixed that it can't happen again, or
Uh,
can we tag it, or?
We can maybe lock it out for the winter months, but, I mean, other than complete redesign, I mean, that's really your only option, is to lock out the control.
So it was on during the winter months,
Yeah.
the air conditioning? Okay,
We shut it off in the fall, or like late summer.
yeah, and then.
Somebody,
And never
hit the
noticed it
button, yeah.
until lately, just lately.
We got tag it or something,
Yeah.
I'm saying, that's ridiculous, in my opinion, anyway.
But you're happy with the propane cost that's budgeted?
For there?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Or you wanted to raise it?
I definitely wanna raise it if they're gonna run both again.
Well, that's what I mean, if that.
No, they're not gonna run both again, I would
Like
hope,
it
so I
should've
think,
been.
I think I think it's probably spot on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious about the propane cost. The medical center, we're saying that we're gonna spend less on propane. And the library, we're saying that we're gonna spend $1,300 more. Just why is that? Is there,
Well, I think in 2022, at the medical center, we expected to spend 6,000. But because of the problem with the switch, we spent 11,000.
okay, I got you.
Good.
your actual for the library is down as well, because that furnace was out of commission for a spell, and they were using just electricity for
Okay,
for a
Right.
small period of time.
gotcha.
So you're thinking, the medical center propane, you're thinking that the budgeted amount in here is, given that they don't turn 2 things on at once, is enough? Because we're saying we're raising it $2,000 over 2022. You think the propane expense just generally is gonna go up?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's what, 25%?
Okay. But that the propane expense for the library is gonna stay the same?
Because they're supplemented with electric heat.
Okay.
I think also with the propane, it depends, do they fill up December the 31st, or do they fill up January the 2nd, right?
Yeah,
So it's the date of the fill up, like where it gets posted to?
yeah.
And
Municipal complex.
the municipal complex, the propane, I sure hope we're better than that, but I know it's,
Yeah. Yeah, explanation,
For
please.
the heating fuel,
Yeah.
It's more expensive than heating
That
fuel.
provided that quote.
Yeah, Superior
was that?
Propane provided the estimate on what propane we were going to be using in this building based on our consumption, but like we have found out that there was some leaks. We're gonna get a credit on that, but, for the amount of BTUs that we have here, it is possible.
And heating fuel
So-
last year would have been more than 38,000 if we would have kept burning it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we would have been paying 49,000 probably if we were still on oil.
So if we were on oil, if the boilers hadn't quit, we would be 49.
Or more,
But we
or
spent
more.
300,000 to spend
Probably.
45 now. That was a
Probably
big
more.
savings. So that doesn't make sense.
No, but what I'm saying is, we're burning less propane, we're more efficient with propane than heating fuel,
So,
year over year.
year over year? Do you not think that propane's a little high? No?
I don't know, I mean, it's just based on estimates, but, I mean, we won't know until,
Until you
Could be
get
about
a
a
full
season,
run.
yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, this few months that we had, again, I don't know to what extent this leak was leaking.
Well, the small leak that was initially repaired was small, and then, the one that we recently had was significant.
Marlene, where are we year to date on propane for the municipal complex? Can you tell?
723. What was that?
I'm not questioning you replacing the boiler. It needed to be done. I'm just asking her year to date, where are we? If she can probably till the end of May, she can give me what we've spent in the first 5 months of propane in this building.
Mhm.
but with the leaks, it's not.
Yeah, no,
it's
you
not-
gotta
it's not
take
a-
that. No.
It might be high, that's my thought.
Yeah.
I need to
Well,
know.
yeah, it would be high.
28,000 seems to be the number, the 28,132.86 to May the 12th fill up.
That was May the 12th?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's.
52, 56, and we've got 45, right? Am I right? Yeah, 56, we've got 45, but you're thinking part of that's a leak.
Part of it is, yep, and your furnace is still on right now, the boilers are still on.
I thought we shut them off. The
It was
night of the
too-
leak, I
it
thought
was-
they were off.
That's right, it was, and we had to turn them back on because the building was too cold.
It's cool in the morning.
We've gone to our, thought we were in summer, going back to winter.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
So then your 45 is probably a good number.
I think for the first year, we need to at least consider that.
Okay.
We'll know next year.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, that probably takes care of the municipal buildings then.
Unless anybody else got questions about municipal buildings?
We went through the capital, Dave. We're gonna go back to it at the
Yeah.
end. We found a bit of savings. Now we're going through the operation,
Okay. Just see if we can cut.
and we are on volunteer fire department now.
Okay. We had pretty much approved this, though, at an earlier meeting, had we not? Am I wrong in that?
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. I would
Right?
agree
We
with
had
that.
pretty much,
You went through
we
it, I
went
think
through all of
twice,
this.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one in the library, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Just
we'll move
quickly
into
go
the
back.
cemetery then.
Okay.
Cemetery is good.
Except, okay, never mind, I just see it here. So the transfer to reserve is that percentage,
For the columbarium sales.
Percentage of the
50%,
columbarium.
That's correct, yeah.
Anybody got anything on the landfill?
the landfill. The landfill, we're gonna have a gain. It's hard to explain this. It's hard to explain. The landfill, we're gonna have a gain of about, there'll be some adjustments in disposal fees to the tune of, hold on here, 25,000. So we're gonna gain 25 here, but we've got a transfer to reserve of 10, and I think on previous discussions, that's not enough. I think we want to transfer 20 instead of 10, which would give us a gain of 5,000 on the landfill.
No, it's not even touch that. Just leave it at that then.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just so to make a little note about this transferred reserve, that 10 is probably not going to be enough. It needs to be higher. So, but I'm thinking we can pull it from surplus that we're gonna have from disposal fees, is what I'm getting at.
You should have enough in your reserve though, for
Whoops.
the time being.
Not given some of the things I think are gonna happen, I don't think we will. I think you're gonna wanna make a little change there. But I think,
We'll have a better idea.
yeah, at the end of this year, and I think the
Yeah.
mayor's right, for $5,000, it's probably not worth changing
No.
the numbers.
And we're still doing the recycling pickup?
Pardon me?
We're still doing the recycling pickup? Like we're still picking up recycling once a
Yeah.
month?
Yeah.
That's something we're still doing?
Yep.
Okay, economic development.
Mission benefits. Arlene, can you tell me where we are year to date on advertising tourism?
Let's see, 8,500, 2,400.
Yep.
Where are you? Oh,
I
sorry.
was looking for the GL number. I was going by memory. Don't trust myself all the time with my memory. Oh my god, this thing is slow. 7,035. That's what's posted to date.
How much more advertising do we have to do? The bulk of it be done for the tourism season already, yeah.
Yeah, is there anything that we typically purchase in there that we haven't thus far, Marlene?
Kim and I went through it to see, as it's, her first year in here, so we have, annual advertising of 5, we've got 3,600, for the stamp advertising, you've got your 2,000 for your Todds.
Mm-hmm.
We had MTO stuff is about $4,000 for sure. That's what I have for notes.
So we could adjust that number a little bit.
I don't know where NASTA is though. NASTA should be, right, because I think you just
The
passed a
NASTA,
resolution.
does NASTA go into the Association of Beef conferences?
I thought they had advertising they did as well.
Oh, they have the additional program that we're also going into.
Yeah. Like a membership would go under your membership
Yeah.
column, but
But they're doing that special program, like they have 2.
I think maybe the bigger ones are down below in the brochures and the distribution and merchandise. Cause I know we paid a big, we paid a good sum in the distribution last year of the,
Brochures?
yeah. And I don't know if we're doing that again this year, or they should still be where they were, or?
Do you have a value in there, Mark?
so you have not approved anything for your brochures for this year. But that is based on what, the amount there is based on what, what the cost was last year to print through Shout Media and to have it distributed. And to
But there is no actual last year.
because it was actually part of your capital. It was budgeted in part of the capital
Capital?
tab for 2022, but that was based on, that number is based on what that was. And for 23, the only thing that I can see that was approved for merchandise up until this point was to Puce Creek for
Right.
pins, whistles, and hats, and I'm not sure what, I don't know what else is being anticipated to being purchased, or whether we're just waiting, likely probably waiting to find out what
What's
number is in here, right?
Okay.
How much have we already then spent for merchandise?
You approved a resolution, I'm not sure whether we've got the invoice yet, and it may have been MasterCard, so it might not be posted yet, but it was for 1,700 plus tax.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think it came in just, I think
Yeah.
it was just slightly over it came in.
So let's mark 17 year to date. So distribution, you're thinking you wanna drop that money a little bit?
So it's 4,900, and that was basically like startup cost, right, to print everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, initially, right, for the advertising, the idea is to announce to everyone that it exists, so that was kind of the key thing.
Yeah.
You know, send it through all the tourist spots, whatever, people are stopping in so that they can see those brochures. I heard in some places that, like, the brochures are gone because people came and picked them up. That being said, keep in mind there's different ways of advertising. You can do more digital-based advertising as well. Brochures is just one way, right? So
So you're thinking that there is room to cut this then? Cut it down, not cut it out, cut it down.
potentially, it is quite expensive, right? I mean, you'll have to compare, right, what other forms of advertising may be able to do for you, right? In some cases, I know that like digital marketing can do something, but it's also tricky and it's easy to burn up money too. If it isn't done right, it may not get enough views potentially. But we looked at it in some other facets. I know, like we were talking about putting the money into banners and all, like how we were suggesting for the drag races, right? So there's different ideas, right?
And
right,
this,
in terms
this is
of
the first year.
advertising.
It's the first year too, fully open, so.
Yeah,
But
we wanted to
this-
go
this-
heavy.
Yeah, but this one line is just brochures and distribution. I think we could cut that a little bit. We could take some off there. Do you have a supply of brochures left right now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we have like, we would have to print more and then maybe take care of the efficiency with this one contractor is good because they stop at all the spots. But, you know, at the time, I think it included the printing and the distribution. Is that correct, Marlene?
That number is to
Yeah.
print and distribute, yes.
And is there any value in distributing brochures throughout the Northwest in the ticks?
There is. I'm just
Or
questioning
or
whether
around
it's
Thunder Bay.
May. It's May. Are you going to spend $4,900 between now and the end of the year printing and distributing more brochures to the level we did last year? It makes sense to me that you did it last year. It does.
I mean, we got some traction now on Google and all too, right? And it's one of those things when you're starting brand new, it's very difficult when, like, you have no ratings on your museum at all, and you search it up and it doesn't pop up, you know, on. But as you get that traction, you get discovered more, and then sort of the word of mouth and just the Google searches alone can help bring it to the forefront. And we've talked, you know, in a long-term strategy is to utilize our highway signage better to advertise the museum as well.
You say we got the full 49 still, Marlene, in that?
That's what's in there, yes.
Yep.
Just me, I think I'd go with 25.
I think so too.
Anybody else thoughts?
Do you
Say at
need
least
that
that.
much?
I agree. Yeah.
Do you need that much? Still in? Like,
Well,
what
then
are
we
you
need
gonna
them
use it
some
for?
room to move.
Like how many brochures, you're not gonna print any brochures this year.
We could
I
look
think
at
it's
doing
too
it.
late.
We could look at doing it every other year,
Yeah.
every three, I don't know.
You print them this year, best case scenario, that are in these information centers, by what, July?
Yeah.
That's too late,
Yeah, couple months.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I'd cut the whole thing out.
No, but I mean.
But if we left the money in there, he,
$1,000
for instance, said, I
What
want
do you
to get a
Really?
banner, he could
Yeah.
actually expense it to there.
Yeah, I just like,
If
what,
we left it to
realistically, what are we gonna use it for?
Yeah,
I mean, and I don't know what the cost is to do the distribution, right? So realistically, if we cut it, I may only be able to do the printing, and then we'll have some brochures, and next year could look at maybe then doing the distribution.
Distribution.
That's- I'm just bouncing some ideas here,
Yeah.
what we could do with,
No,
less
exactly.
money in there.
so the tick brochures distribution, you're thinking when you cut it from 49 to 25?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. And merchandise, they've already spent 1,700. Would you spend much more now, Nathan? Probably.
Potentially, I mean, sometimes some things sell out pretty fast,
Moves
so.
fast. Yeah, we don't know how fast this stuff's gonna move. It moved fast last year.
And it would be good to just top up the merchandise if there is
So
money
leave that
left
number alone,
in
okay?
that number, right?
Then how about?
So then you don't have to worry about it at the startup for the next year, oh, we got no whistles, we got none of this.
Right.
We've topped it up at the end of our
Okay,
last season.
that's fair. Tick building supplies. Last year, actual was just almost 1,000, but we budgeted 5 this year.
So that includes the Clo Darling maintenance contract, the T-Baytel monitoring, some miscellaneous, like the $1,000 miscellaneous that we would spend on average. Also, we had to deal with the water this year, we had to buy a sump pump to have that in there, and we had to buy some miscellaneous things like the fridge, the microwave, and.
So where are you year to date then, with that tick building
Okay.
supplies?
Well, year-to-date won't take into consideration your Clo Darling contract, which is about $1,600,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know why it's so slow tonight. Yeah, we're only at 1420,
1420,
yeah.
but you need another 1,600.
Yeah, so we have 2,000.
Yeah, because we have,
Ish.
right, you've got.
Yeah. So, 6, that's 2, that's 3. So if we allow for that 3, then we've probably got a little bit of room there, but not as much as you'd think, probably. She's at 14, or under tick building supply, she's at 1,400 already, and she's got another 1,600 for the Cloud Darling contract. So that's gonna put her at 3,000, and the budget's 5.
Plus the supplies
Plus
part
the
of it too.
monitoring.
Hmm?
Plus the miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah,
So you're looking at another $1,000.
probably there,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so we're darn close there.
Yeah.
I'd leave it.
Okay. 42, page 2. That's there. Okay.
Water fund.
Water fund is done, right?
Sewer
fund is done.
Public Works.
Public Works. Now, I have not had a chance to look at the enumeration, so I'm going to assume that these are right. Tammy, you've had a look at these numbers?
I'm sorry?
Under Public Works, you've had a look at all the remuneration numbers, they're all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Storm sewers under equipment. went from an actual 2022, so what's the expectation this year?
We have to use a back truck to clean out all the sumps. And that gets done like every other year, and it's going to be part of the operation maintenance manual that I have put together for the ECA. But we have a lot of plugged sumps that need to be backed out.
Okay.
So we don't have a clear hard number on that, but that's your estimate on what it's gonna cost us to do that, Tam?
That is the number I got from the company in Thunder Bay, and we are sharing it with Terrace Bay.
Cost shared quote.
You can do it all in one day, or, you know, it's a multi-day sort of thing.
It depends on how well it goes. Essentially what we'll do is, we'll examine all of these sumps and, we'll keep pumping them out, and we'll do like the most severe ones and prioritize them, and when we reach that number, we're done, and we'll have to just do it again next year.
That's a fair number, their specialty thing, specialty truck.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, under health and safety,
Yeah.
we had budgeted last year to spend 15 and we spent 68, but you got a budget again of 15.
Sorry, where is that?
PW&E's.
Top of the second page, pretty much.
Oh, that's everyone's health and safety, like all departments, not just public works.
Okay, so, okay, but all in all, we had said we were gonna spend 15 last year, we spent like 7, but we've got budgeted 15 again. So you think it's gonna go up $7,000 because?
There is that, what's your notes here, is that all the PPEs and stuff?
It is all training, so at heights, if you're gonna do propane training, if you're gonna do your HR downloads go in here, that your tailgate stuff would go in here. If you are training more of, the only training that wouldn't go like in there would be water, or I don't know, do you do sewer training or not, that would not go in there.
Yeah, no.
So Mar, where are we then year to date?
I know we don't have the subscription in here for the HR downloads, because we were just talking about that
Right.
today.
That's
Yeah.
$3,000.
How much for HR now?
3.
Yeah. So there isn't a lot that's posted in here at this point in time.
But
It's like less than $100.
we haven't, we were expecting $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have to do the chainsaw recertification,
Okay.
and propane.
First aid.
First aid is in there too. So it's all of that training.
Hey. Do you think we can knock $4,000 off that?
Health and safety.
Are you
is-
gonna get all that? Are you gonna get all that training? Like, is it mandatory? Are you gonna be able to get all that training with all the holidays coming up and everything?
It is mandatory. We've done a significant amount already that we've got booked. We've just done some ladder training, and we did propane training recently, so all of those are still due to come in, those invoices.
Okay.
But
And you didn't do that training last year
it's on a 3-year cycle.
on a 3-year cycle?
Yeah. So
Their
I've
2021 was just under 13,000.
Sorry, what was that, Mark?
2021 was just under 13,000.
Was under 13.
Yeah.
So maybe we couldn't cut 4, but maybe we could cut 2?
It's up to you. Health and safety is not an area that we have a lot of leeway in not providing the training and.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, and
That's not what we're saying.
we're definitely not saying that.
No.
We're just saying we can cut 2, 3 off it. If we go over, if we're over that 2, 3,
Then we'll deal with
we'll
it,
eat it.
yeah.
We're gonna have to. We totally agree with you.
So what are you thinking? What are you comfortable with? 2?
We can go 25.
Dan?
If you're comfortable catching up later,
Well, I think he's right though. If we come in under and we are at 12,500, then we're good. If we're not, we're overspent next year.
well, you can do that with everything too. so.
No, but I mean, there are some categories, like it just 13 to 7, 13 and 21, 7 and 22, 15 and 23. You're not comfortable with it? That's okay.
I'm thinking it's fine by me, the number's fine.
Okay.
Dave?
I don't care either way. I'm good with 13,000 or 12,500,
Yeah.
that's fine.
12, 13.
Go with what?
12,500. 13, whatever.
No, it's, okay, go 12.5, save 25.
Why is that benefits number so low? For the
Last year?
actuals, yeah.
So the benefits get budgeted in here,
Mm-hmm.
but as in, if we don't have the benefit account where the wage account is in that department, the benefits follow the wages. So we budget for the positions and the cost of the benefits, but depending on, for instance, if you look at the gravel and sand pits, you'll see that there's only a wage account there. Like there's a 1010 account, the last 4 digits are 1010.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but whatever gets posted in there, it's the hourly rate plus the employer costs that will end up in that GL account. So it's budgeted, the departments are budgeted across, for public works in particular, it's budgeted across several different departments.
So that 51 that was budgeted was actually spent just in different,
Different departments?
Yeah.
oh.
Correct, yes,
So it covers a whole bunch of departments.
that's correct.
Gotcha.
What do supplies entail when we're talking about vehicles?
It could include your fuel as well, could include repairs.
So when we look at the grader, we're spending money to do repairs. We spent $17,000 on supplies. Are some of the repairs we're doing expected to drop that number at all, or?
There's $10,000 in that number for tires.
Okay.
And 25 for lights, 2,500 for lights on that one too. I think, yeah.
Yep.
And the loader, we budgeted more on supplies, but we have a new loader as opposed to last year. Is there?
This loader takes DEF.
Gotcha.
And any of the bigger repairs, we're showing them under capital, not under this category, right, Tim?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, like your
Okay.
differential is in the,
Well, that's where I'm wondering we
Yeah.
are, yeah. So that rear difference wouldn't go in this category, it would go under capital.
Yep.
$30, $20, $20, okay, 10, 10, 13. 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13.
VW 2012 HT van, is that the one that public
That's
works
the
uses?
old handy transit van,
Old.
the
Yeah,
blue
kids
one.
fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no kids to use it this year, so.
Mhm.
Everybody comfortable moving on to recreation?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Revenue, expenses, here we go. And Marlene, the barbecue supplies are offset by the revenue they bring in for that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. That's why there's no number in there, because we don't know what it's gonna be.
That's correct.
Can I ask what retirement is?
Benefits, the benefit premium.
And we expect those are gonna double?
There's the potential, there's more than one retired employee that's in there, so there's the potential,
Okay.
yeah.
What is that benefit for?
In the I can say, can I? No, okay, I don't know whether I can answer that or not.
Okay.
I don't, yeah, I wouldn't guess.
Yeah, no, I see it all the time, and that's why I'm asking.
We budgeted a reduction in minor hockey.
Sorry, we're back.
revenue.
We budgeted a reduction in revenue?
Yeah, 9267, if I'm reading that properly. You reading that?
Arena.
Page 2.
Page
I
two.
use for revenues, I use the average.
Okay.
Like I went through and looked with the average in revenues. And again, that one's it's a little bit hard to judge. I
Yeah.
tried not to use 20, right, and then you have the arena season is 2 years, but
Mhm.
Right, because figure skating and NBC are much closer to what they were the prior year. Is that your thinking, Benj?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So our Heritage Days, last year was 27,635.
But it was offset by revenue on
But what for this year?
20, yeah, last year your revenue was 26,733 and your cost was 27,635, so we just about broke even.
So you're expecting the same thing this year then?
I would assume there's no numbers in there, I'm assuming that's your thinking.
They do not generally, budget for the rec committee events. They don't budget their revenues, they don't
Okay.
budget
Okay.
in the budget, because basically if there's a surplus, it gets transferred to reserve. If there's a
The
deficit,
reserve
it-
fund,
the
right?
reserve fund, yes.
Right, that in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Other than that one retirement category, I don't see any big swings. Do you guys?
No.
And the library, oh, sorry,
That's done.
the library's done, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Are we on to miscellaneous?
Yeah.
That's next, right?
Dave? You got, yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah? My question is handy transit supplies. We budgeted 60, we spent 50, we're budgeting 60 again, how come?
So the 60,000 is based on your 2007, 2018 average expenses. We still have the older unit, right? So generally speaking, as it gets older, you end up putting more into the maintenance part of it. That is your fuel, and it is also, that includes your, like, your cell phone and your administration, charges through the hospital, that type of stuff. We're not going to get the new one in until
24.
2024.
But you expect our expense to go up by 10 grand, even though it's only gonna be a year older?
I think there's the potential there, because it depends on what your service delivery is, whether people are using it more now with going to more events now that it is open, like we are post-COVID.
Oh.
So in 2021, or 2022, it was budgeted 60,000, so I'm just thinking that 2021, the expenses were around 60,000.
What were they in 21? Do you know, Mark?
In 21.
That's okay, it's after hours, it knows it.
Oh, Lord. They were just under 42,000.
42, so
Yep.
we
So-
budgeted almost 20,000 for the next year.
So in 21, the actual was 42, and 22, the actual was 50.
So it's currently in bigs right now for quote on brakes, tires, emergency brake, and one of the windows not involved in the accident is not operating anymore, so they're quoting on that as well. So that bill will be pretty significant.
Yeah.
And where are we year to date? But before that bill? We're gonna be down because we haven't been using it, right? So do we have room then?
I'm just still waiting. We're at just 18,000,
We're at 18,000?
and that is to, yeah, we still have 7 months of cell phone. This does have the SUV rental in here to May the
Okay.
8th. Gas is only till May the 8th, so it's about a month and a half behind.
This 18, is that good till the end of May?
Yeah, but not everything, the 18,000 is like good till today.
Good to today?
Whatever has been paid up until today. But it, like I said, sometimes the invoices are a month late.
Okay.
So I would say this doesn't have the May invoice from the hospital yet. So that's roughly like close to 3,000 on average.
So let's say we're sitting at 20, and we have 6 more months to go. And we spent 42,000 in 2021, 50,000 in 2022. Could we bring this 60,000 down to 55,000? That would still leave you $35,000 for the rest of the next 7 months, or 6 months. Breaks or no?
How much was repairs, you think? Ballpark.
I couldn't hear that,
So
sorry.
those repairs, what do you think?
Well, you're looking at
Over 10?
$1,000
No,
for the tires,
yeah,
all the way around.
Yeah.
The brakes could be
brakes $1,000.
7 to
Pretty bad.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah,
But that 35, that remaining giving her an extra 35 for the rest of the year, still gonna leave you lots of room.
yeah, no, I know, that's what I was.
Okay.
55 should be.
I think you can get 5 there,
I think so.
55.
Okay. Transit supplies. That would give you $35,000 between now and the end of December, Tammy, on that unit. Bugs. Building inspection, 233.
So just so you know, you don't get the full, like, credit of the $5,000 on your levy, right, cause you split. It changes the
Yeah.
amount
No.
of your
Yeah.
revenues,
But
okay?
I'm just thinking if we give you a
Yep.
list that,
Yep.
then we could figure out where we were
Yeah, no,
before we
that's
go
good.
back to capital.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else
I'm
that
good,
we
no.
can get in there?
No, I'm good.
I'm not going to Rebel. And this very last page, fiscal services, this, I know, I understand it's a line item, but it's more of a roll-up, right?
So this has all of your taxation levy.
Right.
Is in here, your OMPF, your payments in lieu, interest on your accounts, interest on your taxes.
Right?
That's all your revenues that are in there, and then,
Than all the other levies that we're
Yeah.
asked to pay. So am I going to assume that there really is nothing we can do with fiscal services?
there's not a lot,
No.
because your revenues are set, cause it's your taxation, that's how you determine what your levy increase is, through your taxation, amounts, and then your other levies are ambulance, social housing, health
Yeah.
unit, and DSAD, you have no control over any of
No,
that.
no.
Yeah,
And you already know what those rates are because they've already been set.
they have been set.
Okay.
Marie, were you doing a count on the?
As we were
where
rolling
stand?
through?
Yeah,
Are you
so
doing a rolling count?
with your changes, you're at a 2.59% increase,
2.59?
yes.
So that's 5 less in capital,
Yep,
2,400 less in TIC, 2,500 less in health and safety, and 5 in handy transit. Yeah?
5 in the expense, it doesn't work out to a full 5.
No, I know.
Yeah,
But those are the
roughly, those are
Did
the
you do it?
changes.
Did you do anything with legal?
No, you guys were coming back to
Okay.
legal.
And sorry, where are we?
2.59.
Okay. Just need a little break. You guys. Keep moving. Oh.
Okay,
We're going back to the legal fees?
yeah, what's next? What's the next step?
Is they not,
I don't,
were they gonna decide that? The legal fees?
They were gonna come back to
We were
legal
gonna
fees, there
look
was
at
some
the
discussion on it.
legal fees to see if we had any room. Personally, I really don't think we do.
I don't think we do either, because I know how quick it adds up.
I mean, ultimately, your other option would be is if you can get better bang for your buck than the current person we're using. That would be your only way, then there's no way of really knowing that unless you call around and ask, right?
Yeah, but we're kinda,
Yeah, I know, no, I
Tied up
understand
right
that,
now.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and yeah, you're absolutely right.
That would be the,
For
Yeah.
going forward,
yeah,
yeah.
like, are we getting hosed? I don't know. I kinda think we are, but
It's
Never.
also difficult, it's like one of those
I
things
know.
like,
I know.
having a good dentist or something, right?
Yeah.
It's-
I know, I understand.
It never hurts to shop around.
Right.
Sometimes
My
you get
opinion.
quality over quantity,
Mhm.
sometimes, who knows,
Yeah.
right?
But
Well, I assume we're gonna have to pay him less to do things he's never done before, cause he's now done them, right? He's more experienced and stuff like that. I remember that was always an issue, but. Okay.
Yeah, it's something we should definitely take a look at, I agree. For next year.
Mm-hmm. You wanna keep it at 50? Really?
Hey,
You wanna keep it at 50, the legal fees?
that's what it was at, eh?
That's what it's at, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I really don't think there's too much room for maneuvering there. I don't know what I guess we can go through capital again.
Well, I think the whole point of going through operating is trying to save capital projects, right? So we don't have to cut them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So how much did we save there in
We,
operating? What's
off
the
in
total?
operating, we saved 2, 4, 9, we saved about $10,000.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But it's not enough to save, like, yeah. She, where did I put that? Where did I put that, Marlene? She also supplied us with
Is this the column of
this list.
not doing?
I think that's correct, and how it's prioritized.
Some transfer from
This is
reserve.
the ones that are doing. Yeah.
If you wanted to keep all of these projects, including the water treatment plant roof, no, I don't want you to move it from there. Hold on here.
We're buying a dock.
No, we
No,
actually
they
said
took
no,
that
we
one.
took the dock off.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I was gonna say. Sorry, I missed the discussion.
I know.
So and then the blue park, what is that? The $5,000, what's that for then?
Removal.
Oh, just to get, and then that deleted item is how much for a new one, to replace it?
A new playground is 135,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the
That's what we're
deleted
saying,
item is.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
and then the 5,000 to remove the playground is for the topsoil and seed and such after.
Okay. And that's happening. Okay.
No.
Now, is that illegal? Is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah,
No,
no,
but
that's
that's-
one, you
but
haven't
it-
crossed that
but
one
it's,
off.
but it's green,
It's not out of taxation.
it's not out of taxation.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Now,
if you-
is that illegal? Is that a legality?
There's a standard associated with playgrounds.
So if we didn't do it,
Then if there's
Liability
an
issue?
injury, like you're looking at liabilities.
It's not, there's no body that's gonna be coming and what you say, issuing you a penalty like ESA or anything like that. Those standards are voluntary for playgrounds. Part of doing inspections is in order to generally meet the criteria of any occupier's liability. So with all the buildings and everything we own, right, there's a hazard such as water on the floor of your building, you have to mitigate it by
Yeah.
putting either a caution sign and then mopping up that water as soon as possible, right? So, what generally, where the liability stems out of, an occupier's liability, is when you are aware of an issue and you don't mitigate that risk and someone ends up getting injured or an injury that's directly caused by that unmitigated hazard.
And it's not coming out of taxation anyways?
No.
Okay.
no.
Rec infrastructure in there, rec,
Mm-hmm.
rec building reserve.
And the whole intent again with playgrounds, right, is the main thing is it's a specific area where you especially don't want, anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
More than just
And
the
we are
liability,
going-
you don't want people,
we are
like
gonna
children
make
getting hurt.
Sorry, Nathan, right, I was gonna, no, I don't wanna interrupt you, sorry.
No, that was it.
We are going to be notifying, any concerned residents that this park is coming out and this is why.
Well, you're
It's-
gonna
yeah.
have to do,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do big PR on that. You're gonna have to do a lot of PR on that, I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You're
You
going
ain't
to
gonna-
want
You
to.
just ain't gonna walk in there and take it down.
No,
You're gonna have to do some PR on that one.
yes,
Whether we wanna claim it's ours or theirs or whoever's, there's a proper way to do it.
there is.
And the intention is to replace it
Well, yeah.
Well,
eventually.
There are
No.
multiple options.
well,
again.
define eventually.
Yeah, I know.
We're struggling right now
Oh,
for
I
money.
agree, yeah.
It would be another grant, but keep
Yeah.
in mind,
Yeah.
when we try to pursue grants, it means it's again other potential areas that you won't get, right? If it's gonna be, do you want a pavilion or a playground, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
those are factors to keep in mind. What Tammy's trying to bring to your attention now is that there may potentially be hazards that need to be mitigated with how it is. It's
Yeah.
reaching the end of its lifespan. And again, these standards are again voluntary, but if there are hazards that have been identified, you have to mitigate it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But
you have to
with-
reasonably address them.
Right, but with all due respect, if there was a group of people who wanted to do fundraising, for instance, to maybe do some replacement, I mean, there's different things.
Exactly.
All we're saying is you're going to need some PR around this.
And I think a proper sort of plan that again combines the PR with dealing with the hazard, so to speak. The main,
Do you wanna go back over that capital project list? Cause you weren't here when we went over it, huh?
I think, unless, did you guys delete any other ones that aren't in that right-hand column?
The only thing we took out so far is the park, the white sand dock.
That's
That's
it.
the only thing we've taken out so far.
Gotcha.
Then we talked about wastewater.
Yeah, we talked about and underwater, the water treatment plant building roof, there's
Yeah.
32,000 in there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
So that's, when we went on the tour that day, that's where the ceiling's caving in, right? I had a thought that we have, if you look down under buildings, we have a roof repair for the arena that we have applied for a grant for. There's no credit assigned to that $63,000. It's possible we could get a grant for that. My thinking would be, if we got the grant, could we use some of the then that expense of 63 would come down. Could we then do the water treatment building without having to have an extra added expense of 32,000? Admin's point is, we don't know if we're gonna get the grant.
Right.
And the other side, and to just piggyback on that thought, is that Tammy identifies it as a hazard. It's a hazarded area within that building. And we don't know how long it's gonna stay that way without collapsing.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but is there any other way to
Fund.
mitigate the risk? Like, sounds silly, but I don't know. Is it the ceiling or the whole roof? Like, I wasn't there at that.
It's like
Maybe Tammy wants to talk about that.
So it's the inside of the building, so you have your metal roofing on the top, and it's the same kind of material on the inside that kind of sandwiches the insulation in. All that strapping has let go, so it's got a big sag in it. So it needs to be re-secured. So in addition to the strapping letting go, you also have all your light fixtures hanging on that. There's just a lot of weight on it.
And I think again, when it comes to any building that you want to make sure it is in excellent condition, is that one. Any sort of risks again to the
Because it's
drinking
water
water,
treatment?
Yeah.
you want to look at very proactively. And again, you know.
So, okay, so no, that's actually a really solid point. So then let me ask you, if, I'm not saying we're going to, I said you need to choose between a water treatment roof and a municipal complex roof. You're thinking the water treatment roof is more critical?
The only difference is that one, the water isn't coming through.
Here it is.
Over
Here it is.
It's sagging, so
Oh my
potentially
God.
it may.
Yeah, I think roofs are pretty important, so.
The other element too, right, if you are planning to carry it over, is next year you're gonna you're gonna be starting again with a increase due to inflation, and on top of that with increase due to insurance, just to begin to maintain the status quo.
If we don't-
It's all the other information that I think I would like to have that we don't have,
Yep.
that I would almost be willing to
Which,
wait. But
which reserve can we take money out of for that?
for that roof,
Which reserve can we take 50% for that roof?
well, she's already got the optimizer filter study out of there. She's got
Where you're looking at where, out of water? or-
out of the water reserve, the reserve report.
Yeah,
She's outlined for us very neatly all the expenses. The Ontario Street reline is coming out of there. The water reservoir inspection's coming out of there. The dam phase 2 is coming out of water. Major maintenance items 32.5, and that was something we had spoken about quite a bit earlier, coming out of there. The butterfly valves, and that was all coming out of there. So those were the expenses. We've taken some heavy duty expenses out of water reserves this year for the water.
So what
Category.
reserve would the municipal complex building come under this infrastructure?
Yeah.
Could we do that?
Infrastructure
Because,
reserve.
I mean, that's half,
what about this other reserve,
right?
Marty?
If you funded the municipal
Complex roof under
under
infrastructure.
something, under infrastructure, then that's like what Mooney was suggesting, funding half of the water treatment.
What about this other reserve, working capital reserve? What can we use that for?
Oh,
It's
no,
not-
no.
it's not on
No, no,
this
that's
No,
an-
I'm asking
Oh,
Marty,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Marlene.
I agree with you.
No, sweetheart.
No, but
it's-
I just-
yeah.
I just
Maybe
did not-
explain what that working capital fund is. It's always going to be that
Because it's not
amount.
on here and.
No,
but
no.
It is,
It is part of our reserves.
Yeah, so,
It's supposed to be, I don't remember the exact terminology I used, but it is supposed to be used for unforeseen
okay,
circumstances
Okay,
that
got
may occur, and yeah, I would not suggest that you, there's no steadfast amount that I could determine that, like, but it does get audited, and the auditors say, yeah, that's an appropriate amount, or it isn't an appropriate amount, and, what talking about, cause I think what I'm hearing is that the arena roof is a priority project for 2023. And we are going to.
Yes, we've already applied for a grant for that.
Yeah, so, and it is, but it's a priority project in that if we get to September and we don't know, we're gonna go ahead and fix it? Is that like what I'm hearing? So from a budgeting perspective, you would, as Dave, if I understand Dave correctly, you're saying do a transfer from the infrastructure reserve to cover that cost, so that frees up your taxation.
No, we're
The cost of
thinking,
the municipal.
no, we wanna do
If
the
you-
municipal complex,
If you,
not the
okay.
arena.
Yeah, no,
Cause we've
we-
already got a grant in. The arena's gonna get done.
We'll cover take the 16,000 out of the infrastructure reserve
For the
for here.
municipal.
Okay,
It's just the
For
number
here.
was the same as what Mooney was talking about.
okay.
Yeah,
And then it's not coming out of your water.
and then we'll fund,
The water treatment roof repair. We're gonna leave that alone.
We'll fund that through taxation.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
And
Yeah.
working capital, Dan, just so we're clear, is typically a percentage of your annual operating. And it's a way that if you get to the end of December and you spent all your taxation money, it gives you some capital to start off the next year. That number actually is pretty solid, and I think it goes back to 2017, that number was the
I was gonna
same.
say 18, so yeah.
Yeah, 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
no, it was just, it was on this list.
It's on the list, you're
Yeah.
right.
But not this one. That's
Right.
why I was asking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
so that's the way you were saying, Dave?
That's what I'm suggesting, yeah.
Okay,
If you don't wanna continually deplete, like what Anne Marie was saying, there's a lot coming out of that water reserve.
Yeah.
And the number for the infrastructure is much higher than the water one, so. It's the same number you're suggesting, the 16,000,
so the roof
right? And then
repair
that'll come out of,
for municipal, we will fund that instead of out of taxation, out of infrastructure.
Okay, so the 16,000, we have to add in the revenue.
does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Water treatment plant will keep with the taxation. And right, for the purposes right now, the arena is the
Yes.
63 through taxation, so those.
The only one we're gonna take off is the municipal complex roof. We're
We're
just
gonna
not gonna
add
fund it through we're gonna just,
Taxation, we're gonna
yeah,
add the transfer from
Yeah.
reserves, yeah, so that brings you to 1.88.
$1.88.
Yeah.
Do you have a number, Marlene, for how much we transferred to reserve last year? And how much we took out?
Ooh, not off the top of my head, I wouldn't, but I could probably get that for you for the morning.
Okay,
I think I have it.
you have it?
I think so. She's giving me reports sooner. In 2022, you're asking?
Yes.
Yes. This is the report that Marlene gave us on February 17th. Okay, so in 2022, we transferred to reserves $158,282. In 2022, we transferred from reserves $781,685. And the bulk of that transfer was from infrastructure, and Marlene, you told me that was, it was one big project.
Hold on, let's see, that is transfer.
Oh my God, I'm
I
old.
don't have it from the February, I have to go
Yeah,
on
here.
February 17th.
That's the report that you gave me. But the 500,000 from infrastructure was, Nathan, do you remember? There was one big poll for one big project, what the heck was it?
From the
Well, these were
infrastructure bit.
budgeted, so this wasn't actual, this is budgeted. What we were budgeting, so that wasn't the actual amounts, but the biggest one was the 289 for the loader, there was 87 for the grader.
That's what it was.
Accessibility doors was 40, the hopper was 40.
Yeah,
So, that's what that 585 is,
Okay.
that's the budgeted amount.
Okay.
But actuals, I can get that,
yeah,
I'm sending an email out tomorrow.
so, that's right, that's where that money was, the loader, the grader. What did we just buy?
The loader.
The loader. Jeez Louise. Yes, because we were looking at our reserves back in February and trying to figure out where we were.
Well,
And if we did that, and we were lucky enough to get the grant for the arena, then I would suggest we could, it's not budgeted, but we would probably have some room to take care of the public work garage. It needs some roof repairs. I mean, we'd have some surplus if we got that grant. If we didn't, we budgeted to spend it, but if we get the grant, we could actually use that for the public works garage. Because Tammy's let that go, but we could pick that up.
Would be a good news story all around, I mean, who knows what other things may pop up.
Right.
So.
yeah, well, I mean, if we get the grant, it's gonna be good, but. No, I don't see anywhere else we can save any money.
We feel like we've hit the water reserve hard enough, eh?
I really do. We've really transferred a lot out of there this time.
Yeah.
And it's been an expensive year for water, to be fair.
For sure.
Yeah,
We
but
feel
that's-
like water should.
That's the same with all our reserves, so.
Mhm.
What's that, Ben?
I agree with Benji there.
I just kind of feel like water should pay
Yeah.
for water. And I know that it
Okay.
has in other ways, but it's just a thought.
You want to see that come out of water instead of infrastructure?
No. We talked, infrastructure was gonna cover the municipal complex.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
Even if it was even if it was a portion of it. I agree that we did take a lot out of there too.
So the
I'm good
water
either way.
treatment building roof,
Just my opinion.
what do you think about that?
What's your worst case scenario out of your optimization study that's gonna be coming through at the end of the year? Are you
I don't even
asking
want to
me?
think
I
about
don't-
it.
well,
I
mean,
think
so-
Tammy knows the answer better than that, but it's going to scare the hell out of us, so don't tell us.
Which is why I would say, so on that reserve continuity that's attached,
Mm.
right? This is showing that your water reserve is just over the $200,000 mark.
Yeah.
So, and again, Nathan touched the wood there, Anne Marie, where you are behind you, we're gonna hope that everything comes out lovely, but worst case scenario, that's not gonna hit your,
No.
if you're lucky enough to get any kind of funding, if you have to do major upgrades to that place, you're not gonna have it,
No.
so. And if the concern is the capital infrastructure update to your water treatment plant through taxation, your water treatment plant rate provides safe drinking water for your entire community.
It does.
And all tourists that come in, anybody who uses from, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a total, complete service that you're providing to every ratepayer. Just as a caution.
Now, do you wanna talk about legal fees? Under admin?
Thought we
Well,
did
we
that.
talked about it in the
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah, you don't wanna touch it?
Yeah. We don't know.
Okay. Where else did we say? Consulting fees, you said we were already at 21. Insurance deductibles, we've already talked about that. I'm just looking for swings, Nathan. One to one, 19 to 20. Okay. Fire, we've already done. Cemetery.
Did you talk about the, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that was when I showed up, the municipal complex propane number?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always see less revenue, just a question, less revenue in solar panels, is that just degradation or like?
So you do, there would be age, but the other thing is you have to get up there to clean them off. And I would say that this winter, a lot of our snow came from the north, only because my house faces south and north, so I think right, and they face south, so that's my theory anyways.
Excuse me.
Water and sewer are done. Equipment is done.
I don't think it's a bad budget, considering.
Considering the cost of everything last year,
I mean,
that's gone up 2% or.
we got
more.
it, we got it down considerably.
Yeah, I think we did really well.
I mean,
So we're down to, what did Marlene say, 1.88?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is roughly $90 on $100,000 of assessment for the year.
for a year.
Yeah, that's, yeah, let's just be sure that we understand that this 1.88, she's right, equates to an annual increase on a residential property with a current value assessment of $100,000. It doesn't talk about what it would do to a commercial business, how much that would increase their taxes. So, just be aware. Consensus? Around the table? You look so cranky for.
I always do.
That's his job.
That's his job.
I would like to see it lower, but
I would too.
go here.
all things considered, I think we did a good job.
I'd be happy if we could drop it another 0.38, but
So,
I don't know, Zach, if you wanna drop it, keep looking then. I mean, I don't know where we're gonna get it from. I think we
Fund
came
something
down
else for a
from,
reserve.
yeah,
That's your only option.
yeah.
what's that, Dave?
So your only, I think your only option is you fund something else through a reserve.
But you can keep spending out of
That's
reserve.
That's a
I know,
danger.
That's a dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
route
I
to
mean,
go
you
down.
gotta replace it at some point.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
absolutely-
mean, we canceled some things out of this
Yeah.
to.
No, I'm not
to
suggesting,
keep-
I'm
No,
just
no,
saying that,
no.
No,
I
that's
think that might be the only
the only
option.
way he's
Yeah,
saying that we
yeah.
could.
Yeah, and I believe the only other place where we could maybe try and take some money would be the propane, but here for this building, but
But,
It's another fact, we don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think
It's the
it's,
first year.
I think it's
I
fair
don't-
to say that they want a year to see what the propane costs will do.
We don't know, I mean, propane costs may go up
Yeah.
this year.
yeah, I don't think that it's outrageous.
Like just the
I
price
hope
of
it's
propane.
better, but
Just the price of propane may go up another,
I think we've got it in
oh, we're
a
locked in, yeah,
contract,
so we're
right?
locked in.
71 cents.
For
Yeah,
1
we
year,
are.
for 1 year, right?
Okay, just a second here, let me just take a look in one more spot now that I'm sitting back, because I was thinking about it this afternoon. Marlene? Under, admin expenses, travel and expenses, where are we year to date? 1600-1330.
1,600 for something?
Yes, please.
Well, cut to that.
Well, if I'm
Can't go
asking other
anywhere.
people to take it out of their pocket, why wouldn't I take it on my own?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that one.
$8,200.
8,200.
So this is in addition to travel, it also is the cell phones that we pay for.
It's the registration fees?
No, registration would, this is accommodation
Okay,
and travel like mileage, meals,
yeah.
cell phones.
So do we have any other conference needs outside of AMO that we have to attend this year, or we should attend this year?
The only remaining conference really is
AMO?
AMO. Again,
Are those numbers in that 8?
No,
So you're
but-
over 10.
but don't you also have,
We
isn't
might
there
have-
municipal league in the fall?
we might have a fall
Okay.
municipal league. I really think the next one, I mean, well, me and Dan are going Saturday to Red Rock, but, and I know Nibbigan is taking the municipal league meeting next March, so that won't be as high as that expenses for us.
Right.
I don't know if there's, you know what, maybe there isn't one this fall. I'm not sure. There,
Yeah.
we'll find that out
I
Saturday.
think there may be, I don't have it jotted down here, but there may be, from what I recollect.
We usually have one, but I haven't heard any talk of it.
Like you're talking about the in-person, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I believe there's another one.
Okay.
This year.
Like our travel and expenses have been traditionally low because we've been attending everything online.
yeah,
It's 82.
But we brought the budget back to where it was at its beginning. Are we willing to give up a couple of grand into that budget? And Min's got their own travel budget, so that we're not gonna impact them.
And yeah, for this year, it's really gonna be only,
Just
AMO
AMO
really left for, again, anything significant. What you can look at for savings rate is ultimately, what do you do, Roma, NOMA, AMO, Municipal League.
AIM was the only one left.
Yeah.
And municipally, which isn't as bad.
Which isn't as
It's not that
bad.
I mean,
So-
Municipal League, there's,
Municipal League, the only things we send everyone, right, because it's a
yeah, but not everyone go, Dave won't be able to go.
Thunder Bay thing.
Angie.
Numbers.
It's me and Nathan. I might have to go on vacation with Nathan. I might
No,
not
no,
be
I
here in
mean-
August.
No,
He'll be real thrilled.
Municipal League.
Yeah, Municipal League. Well, we've got approximately $7,000 left then.
No, because AMO's not included in that 82.
It's just the travel, right? The travel and
So-
accommodations.
You probably have.
You think you'd have $7,000 worth of travel?
No, I mean, you probably have like $6,000
Okay.
left, maybe.
See, that's a good number.
5,500.
Can we cut 2 from that then? Can we cut 2 from travel? Just 2.
Probably.
Yeah, I do.
You're not happy? You don't like the idea?
No, I'm not saying either or, but, I mean, if you're older, then
Mhm.
that goes on. Where do you catch up?
I know.
Actually,
I'm looking at, all I'm doing is looking down here.
Yeah, no,
Through
I
categories
know
that
what
have got
you're
big
doing.
swings and then where I think I can cut some a little
Yeah.
bit here and a little bit there. Okay, then we skipped over this one. How about PR promotion?
Where are we at with that right now, Elaine?
That one, tend to spend that later, some of that later in the year, and I don't know, that includes like your Township of Schreiber pens and pins
Okay,
that we have in here, but I will tell you where we are right now for one.
Keep in mind that PR and promotion is a very strategic sort of fund for you, and especially when it comes to putting out fires, so to speak. I mean, you have insurance to take care of some matters, but your PR fund can really turn the tides if something does pop up where you need to spend a bit of money to fan out the flames.
Like this is your, it's still loading, but this is your, position recruitment and stuff like that, goes into this one like on a regular basis.
but that wasn't very much.
No.
We just passed that motion.
Yeah, I think it's like $2,500
$2,500, I
a year.
think.
We've got the $1,000 for the beautification
Yeah.
committee, right? So right now we're at just under 4,500.
If you don't wanna cut it from travel, can we cut a couple $1,000s off of PR promotion? We're at 4,500. Year to date, last year we spent 78, but we've got a budget of 16.
We're only 30%.
Hey?
Yeah, it's like, not even, what is it, 30% spent?
What do you think?
No.
Like, you certainly could, just keep in mind that it's your main window to do anything, should anything pop up, and, you know, someone says, could you do this, or could you help fund a certain thing, and you're not looking at it through a grant and aid, so that's just the only thing to keep in mind.
Okay.
We can go too thin too, so I kind of agree with Dan that we don't want to go too thin, because we're gonna look like heroes this year, and we're gonna look like duds next year.
Well,
When
not
we gotta
necessarily.
catch up.
We don't know how we're gonna look.
No, but I mean, it's, We came down from 5 point to 1.88. And considering the cost of living, you look at every other town around, they're going up 5%.
I always wanna be the better one, see? That's about, I don't see a whole lot more swings that we haven't talked about that
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
I could pull from. Other than those, I thought I'd go back to administration and take a look at the council. We don't have to, it's just a thought. We could take a grand, I don't know what that would bring us down to. Maybe not even enough to worry about, but
What would $2,000 bring us down from 1.88? Take $2,000 off the DR.
You can take one from one and one from the
Yeah.
other.
1.79.
1.88, 1.79.
What does $3,000 do?
see, now we're shopping.
Well, if you take 1,500
Yeah.
for both.
Or one off each, I could live with,
That's what we're thinking.
yeah.
Might as well go 15.
Fine.
So travel, you want 15 on travel, 15
Well, yeah,
to
if
14?
you just,
And then
okay,
PR and promotion down to 15,
yeah.
1.79.
Okay, that's a nice number.
1 3/4. I like that number better.
1.79?
I do.
Well, obviously, it's a better number for sure. But
We've cut everywhere else. No? 1 3/4, that's pretty good.
1.79 this day and age. Pretty damn good.
Do you wanna go back to 1.88?
No, we'll go 179. We'll go 179 and let's hope we can.
So we took how much off of travel? 1,000?
Yeah.
And we took 1,000 off of promotion. Is that right, Mark?
Yep. So travel is now 14,000, PR and promotion is 15,000.
15,000. So really, we haven't,
No, I'm good with that.
are you good with that? Are you good with that,
Yep.
Ben? Ben?
Yeah.
Do you wanna go over it just one more time? I could probably find more if I keep looking.
So,
We'll have your administration staff horrified.
you okay with it, Dan?
Yep.
You okay with with the reserves and everything?
Well, that's, yeah.
Dave,
Yep.
Angie, Anne Marie? Okay, we shall. Do you want to have a special meeting do you need a special meeting to?
No, if you are prepared to,
Pass
the
this?
direction is to bring forward the bylaw, the budget bylaw at the 1.79% levy increase, then that's the direction that will come out of this meeting. And then the bylaw itself will be on the meeting, on the June 27th meeting.
27.
Okay.
That was 23.
I
That's,
can't hear you, sorry.
Sorry.
you don't want to do anything before that? There's no need to do anything
No,
before that, I
because
guess.
you do need to, like, I need to take this and put it into the bylaw and into the financial system, balance everything, and put the notice out. You have to have a notice, and then it has to be on the next regular, it's supposed to be the next regular scheduled meeting of council, which would be the 27th, so.
So if you can bring a bylaw forward to.
Can you get all that done by the 27th?
Yep. Yep.
And then, okay, and you wanted to, okay, no problem.
I won't be here on that 27th, so. Hopefully, nobody else is gonna miss that.
I did my grads the week before, so.
Okay.
I'm in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gone 3 days next week for DSAB. I'm here the following week though.
Okay, that's the direction. We'll go. So, resolution, thanks everybody. I didn't know if we'd get that done, but we got it done, and I don't think it's that bad of a budget, again, considering. So resolution 225-23, and nobody signed it.
I've done enough gravel racing. I know.
You shred all this?
Resolution 225-23, moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councilor Bryson, that the meeting now adjourn at 8:53 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.